Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have all of you here today on the 20th day of October 2020. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to ask all the members of our audience here today to please maintain social distancing and wear your face mask if you can. All right, Denise, please call the roll.
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice. Here. Magistrate Harrison. Here. Magistrate Greenwell.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Here.
Magistrate Logston.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Second.
Are there any additions to the agenda? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll ask Denise to please read the minutes from our meeting on October 6th.
October 6, 2020, the Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. with Judge Executive David Vogel, County Attorney John Carter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Steve Greenwell, Chris Hounds, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Logston. Magistrate Harrison was absent. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the agenda as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting minutes from September 15th, 2020 were read and approved unanimously with the correction of the last name Strawn in the public hearing to close Tingle Lane on page 248. Public comment. Jerry Nart, Oldham County Emergency Management Director, reported on the following. The Kentucky Division of Forestry currently has a burn ban in place which prohibits burning 150 feet from woodland or brushland from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. through December 15th. Smart 911 is an efficient and useful tool, and all residents are encouraged to sign up for Smart 911. Teresa Gamsky, Oldham County Director of Public Health, provided an update on COVID-19 and stated the Health Department would soon be making a public announcement about the new Director of Public Health that will replace her when she retires. The following sealed bids were opened and read aloud for the 2021 Durango Pursuit vehicles. Hunt Chrysler Center, Franklin, Kentucky, $217,441. John Jones, Salem, Indiana, $30,300 each for 5 2020s in stock. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Logston to award the bid for the Old Floydsburg Road Safety Improvements Project to Louisville Paving in the amount of $780,000 and to authorize the Judge Executive to sign the agreements with Louisville Paving as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hawkins and seconded by Magistrate Likens to award the bid for the Briar Hill Park Playground to Miracle Recreation of Kentucky and Tennessee, Option 1, in the amount of $45,000. Discussion followed. Motion amended by Magistrate Hawkins and seconded by Magistrate Likens to award the bid for the Briar Hill Park Playground to Miracle Recreation of Kentucky and Tennessee, Option 2, in the amount of $50,000, and to authorize the Judge Executive to sign all contract documents with Miracle Recreation as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to authorize the payables as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Judge Vogel presented a letter from the Oldham County Hazardous Materials Task Force Board of Directors relating to the serious, continuing, and threatening circumstance at Railroad Crossing in Crestwood. The board recommends the railroad crossing be closed. Jerry Nart, Oldham County Emergency Management Director, spoke about the incidents occurring at this location. Discussion followed. The Judge Executive will communicate with Jim Kramer, Mayor of Crestwood, Jim Gray, Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Secretary, and State Representative Jason Neems. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Tice to authorize the Judge Executive to sign the 2020 Waste Tire Management Program Agreement with the Kentucky Energy and Environmental Cabinet, which describes the obligations of the county and the state for completion of Oldham County's waste tire collection event to be held at the Oldham County Fairgrounds, October 29th through 31st, 2020, as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Rebecca Zockline, Solid Waste Recycling and Grants Coordinator, recapped the success of the recent virtual composting project, which is posted on YouTube. Police Chief Greg Smith recommended to award the pursuit vehicle bid to John Jones for 5 2020 Durango Pursuit vehicles in stock and ready for delivery in the amount of $30,300 per vehicle. Discussion followed. The judge executive requested Chief Smith to obtain information from each dealership to compare like vehicles. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize the judge executive to sign the agreement with the Carriage House for the temporary construction easement agreement as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to sign the Quality Place Road Improvement and Dedication Agreement as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to authorize the judge executive to sign the letter of intent for the Paylocity Survey module as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Tice to authorize the judge executive to sign the contract modification number 2 with DLZ to subcontract with QK4 for inspection services during the construction of the Old Floydsburg Road Safety Improvement Project in the amount of $69,775 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize the judge executive to sign the contract for outdoor lighting service with LG&E for 9 lights at the Park and Ride at the Apple Patch facility in the amount of $187.47 per month for 5 years as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to table signing the contract until Judge Vogel communicates with Jim Kramer, Mayor of Crestwood. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve funds in the amounts of $395,192.50, 50% to be paid by Oldham County Fiscal Court to be authorized for payment to Louisville Paving for contract amendment number 1 of Eden Parkway Phases 1 and 2 construction project as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried 7-1. Magistrate Greenwell voted no. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to authorize funds in the amount of $18,912.40, 50% to be paid by Oldham County Fiscal Court, to be used for ecological services for Eden Parkway Phases 1 and 2 construction project as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Likens to authorize the judge executive to sign the lease renewal with the Department of Corrections for the Buckner soccer fields in the amount of $1 per year for 25 years as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried 7-1 with Magistrate Logston voting no. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Logston to award the bid to John Jones for 5 2020 Durango Pursuit vehicles and 2 2021 Durango Pursuit vehicles in the amount of $30,300 per vehicle as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize the judge executive to sign the AIA agreement with Architectural Investments for the new animal control facility as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. A motion was made and seconded to recess. Motion carried unanimously. Meeting recessed at 4:18 p.m. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Likens to resume from recess at 4:34 p.m. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Logston to authorize the judge executive to sign the AIA agreement with Joseph & Joseph plus Bravura Architects for Phase 1 of the John Black Community Center expansion as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Dye to hire Adrian Hughes as Animal Control Officer at $15 an hour, effective 10/12/2020, as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Tice to reappoint Stephen Turover to the Ambulance Taxing District Board with a term to expire 10/16/2022 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Tice to reappoint Ann Brown to the Ethics Commission with a term to expire 10/18/2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Likens to reappoint Lonnie Harden to the Oldham County Public Library Board with a term to expire 10/1/2024 as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to appoint Siobhan Gallagher to the Oldham County Public Library Board with a term to expire 10/1/2024 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment, Gary Parsons, Director of Parks and Recreation, announced the Spooktacular Festival, drive-through trunk or treat, and the Skeleton 5K run scheduled for October 18th, 2020. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting adjourned at 4:59 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from October 6th. Are there any corrections? Magistrate Harrison.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. I realize I was not here at the last meeting, so I'm not going to vote on them, but I had a couple of questions. One was on the third page concerning the AIA agreement with Joseph and Joseph. Should there be a dollar amount shown in that motion? Or we
Would
just-
be. I think it would be appropriate. We can amend that.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. And then, under the judge's comments at the very end, we're reading that a white pickup truck pointed a gun at an elementary school child. I think it was probably the driver or somebody in the truck and not the truck itself pointing the gun.
Yes, right.
Maybe we could rephrase that.
Okay.
That's
Someone
all.
in the truck.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Abstain.
8 in favor, 1 abstention, and motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll go on to the first item on the agenda here today is actually something that was referred to in the minutes in the last. I'd like to have Chief Smith to come forward here. 2 weeks ago, we opened bids for vehicles, and we made a motion to accept the 5 bids from John Jones, but then after we got buying the cars, a couple of them evaporated. So, Chief, you want to explain what happened here?
Well, the fiscal court was, kind enough to allow us to buy the 5 at the $30,300 mark. But unfortunately, by the time we called them back, 2 of them had been sold by another salesman. So I left 3. 3's better than none. So we went in and agreed to buy the 3. So that left 4, still proof to the budget that we have not bought. Given the fact that the second organization to put a bid in bidded it correctly, it was our belief that they probably should get the 4. In addition, John Jones gave me a verbal agreement that they would sell the rest of them at $30,300, and he didn't do that. They said they couldn't sell 4 at that price. So that being the case, I think we all kind of came to agreement that I think it was Franklin Chrysler Ford, whatever, I forget the organization's name, actually bid precisely to the bid. They submitted their quote precisely to the bid, so our recommendation was we buy the other 4 from them. The time span in receiving the cars are identical. Both of them said about 4 months. So buying one from the other really wouldn't make a difference as far as delivery was concerned. But getting the 3 helped us out a lot. And we have those on the lot right now waiting to be equipment installed in them. So that's kind of where we are. So things kind of didn't completely fall apart, but partly fell apart.
Well, so I'll make a motion that we rescind last week's, our action from 2 weeks ago, and make a new motion that we purchase 3 vehicles from John Jones. These are 2020 Durangos, and that we go forward with the 4 vehicles from Hunt Ford Chrysler. These are 2021 Durangos at $31,063 per vehicle.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion on this?
One discussion, one question. I assume that Hunt's willing to sell us only 4 vehicles rather than 7 at their original quote.
They are, yes.
Okay, That's good, then. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item here has to do with budget transfers in the county. Pardon?
Public comment.
Okay, I'm sorry. I missed the public comment on the agenda. Is there anyone here who would like to address the court in regard to public comment? All right, seeing no one, I'll close public comment and go on to the next item on the agenda, and that has to do with budget transfers. And the county treasurer, Melissa Horn, will review that request with the court.
For the quarter that ended September 30th, I'm asking you to consider budget transfers totaling $76,434. Several of these line items are for COVID-related supplies. One is because the primary election that was supposed to be in May was moved till June, so we couldn't pay the bill until July, so it falls into the wrong fiscal year. There's a few departments that need some overtime dollars. We also need to recognize some insurance proceeds that will be coming for the repair or replacement of emergency notification signs on I-71 that were damaged. And then there's one grant, the 911 grant for the new CAD system. It too is falling into an unplanned fiscal year, if you will, so I need to move some money for that.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we approve these budget transfers as Ms. Horn has lined them out for $76,434 even.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded, the budget transfers be approved. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next item on today's agenda are the payables that we have each 2 weeks, or every 2 weeks, that is.
Judge, I'll make the motion that we pay the payables.
Any discussion on any bill that's in the payables for this period? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda has to do with an erosion control bond release for rocket storage on Interior Way. County Engineer Jim Silliman will review that with the court.
Good afternoon. You should have the letter of recommendation from me for rocket storage on Interior Way. The project's complete and they've satisfied the requirements for our inspection for erosion control. And I would like to recommend that the fiscal court move to approve the bond be released in the amount of $46,100.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, the bond for runoff control for rocket storage be released in the amount of $46,100. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Jim.
Similarly, there was a project to replace the pond liner at the pond at the entrance of Poplar Woods subdivision. This was done by the homeowners association. They've also completed the project and everything's in order. So I'd like to recommend the fiscal court approve the release of that bond in the amount of $9,392.50. And I didn't mention on the last one, but I'll mention on this one, both of these bond releases did go through road committee for approval at their last meeting.
Make that motion, Judge.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the $9,392.50 erosion control bond for Poplar Woods be released. Discussion, Magistrate Dye.
Jim, Poplar Woods, that's not that old of a subdivision. You say this is a replacement liner?
Yes, sir.
Don't liners last a little longer than?
They've had issues with the liner. I think they've had issues with vandalism. people punching holes in it. So it's a multitude of issues, and they're replacing it now.
It wasn't necessarily defective, it's,
That's correct.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say it was unusual. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on today's agenda has to do with a contract for outdoor lighting services at the Park and Ride in Apple Patch. This item was tabled at the last meeting. Is there a motion to take this item off the table?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Jim Urban.
Good afternoon, Judge, Magistrates. One of the reasons that you asked to table it was that you wanted to have Crestwood consider whether or not they would split the cost of these lighting because it is in the city of Crestwood, although the parking lot is a county parking lot. Last Wednesday night at the city council meeting, they did agree to pay for 4 out of the 9 lights so that they would take 4 lights and we would take 5. Belinda, in the meantime, Magistrate Dye has recommended a change in the lighting because we had just the standard acorn lights. And so Belinda has checked on, I guess it's not really called a shoebox, but it looks like a shoebox. Denise, can you put on the overhead, please? And so what and although we don't have a contract with LG&E just yet, we will contract for 5 lights. And she has the amount, and what we're asking is that fiscal court allow the judge to sign that contract when it's prepared.
So with these new lights, fiscal court would pay for 5 of them at a monthly cost of $104.15 a month, which is about 20 cents more than the acorn lights per month.
104.16. I'll make that motion, Judge.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we share the cost of lighting at Apple Patch with the county paying for 5 lights and Crestwood paying for 4.
I have a question.
I had kind of thought we were just going to split the whole bill
Well, it's hard
rather
for us
than go
to-
per light.
It's hard for us to get a bill and then get reimbursed or whatever, so we just had talked to the mayor about them just getting billed for 4 lights and we get billed for 5, and then we don't have to worry about changing money in between us.
They'll have their own contract.
All
with
right, we
LG&E.
each we are each going to get, there'll be 2 bills generated.
That's correct.
Judge,
Magistrate Logston.
do you have to have any kind of interlocal agreement to have this done? I mean, we know what we're doing. I'm just talking 10 years from now. Will there be confusion?
No, because we'll each have our own, we each are paying for separate lights, so there is no interlocal agreement needed because each party's getting a bill. If they don't pay their share, they don't pay for their lights are shut off, but ours will keep running.
And there are minutes of the city commission meeting where they approved this. So it's not like they just decided on, this was an actual agenda item.
Hey, Measure Greenwell.
Thank you. Does this mean we had to have 2 meters to figure this out?
They don't do the lights.
No,
by
they
the
don't
way.
do
meter,
meters, it's
it's-
by the post.
It's by the pole. They don't
Okay.
meter it, it's just on average based
Okay.
on daylight and how long the lights are on. And
Okay.
you can put them anywhere and it's the same rate.
Thank you.
Measure Tice.
I'm confused, and maybe y'all can help me. When we started this, I thought it was Crestwood's parking lot, and we were just handling the grant because it had to be handled by the county government and not the city, but it was theirs, because if it wasn't theirs, we would have handled the grant the whole way and never had a discussion about Crestwood.
I think we did do the Spring Hill Trace sidewalk. That may be the project you're thinking of. That is a Crestwood project that we took on because they're not able to use the federal funds. But this one, I don't think we ever set up explicitly as, this is a Crestwood project and we're merely the pass-through.
Right, this
The
was
Spring Hill Trace is that way.
Yeah, congestion mitigation, air quality grant, and they don't have any staff. When the land was transferred for the parking lot, it was put in the name of Oldham County Fiscal Court. There's a road involved, a brand-new road, and that is going to be a Crestwood road. So they will do all the plowing, then we have a maintenance agreement. They'll do all the plowing of both the road and the parking lot, and then we're doing the mowing. And so this land is actually Oldham County Fiscal Court's land, where the parking lot is.
So we'll be paying to have it paved and everything out of our money when all of that comes up for need to be done.
25 years from now.
So it's all our from forward. Okay. If that's the case, I'm not sure, and I'm gonna go back. If that's the case, I'm not sure why we're not paying for all the lights. It's our parking lot. And forget I said that. We can go forward from there.
Thank you.
Well, we like, wherever possible, we like to share the cost.
It's okay with me?
It's a service to everybody in the county, but
Okay.
Crestwood is participating.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
on the iPad here, it's got 9 of the Acorn lights, so that's you're gonna pull this contract out, replace it with the 5 box light, and these are the LED lights.
Yes, and that's why we're asking you, and I think it's part of your motion, as I stated it, if you just mimicked it, that when the contract is prepared, you're allowing the judge to sign that
Yeah,
contract.
yeah, okay.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Jim, did Crestwood City Council adopt the same county lighting standards that were implemented a couple years ago?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so these follow our
They
planning
do.
and zoning guidelines? Okay, thank
Correct.
you. And I've got another question. Is it true that LG&E provides the poles and the lights, and they'll change the lights, et cetera, maintain them? This is just the bill for electricity, is that correct?
That's correct.
You pay the, whatever that comes out to be, $20 and some change. That monthly fee, they put the pole up, they maintain the light, pay the electricity. It's a one per pole fee, lock, stock, and barrel, monthly fee. So it's $21.04, $6.55 and $14.49. Per pole is $21.04.
And that if the pole gets knocked down, the lights get, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
It's their pole, they own it, they're
And the
just basically
electricity.
renting it to you
Okay,
with
Thank
the
you.
electricity.
Is there any further discussion on this item? It's been moved and seconded that we allow Crestwood to share the cost of this project with us as far as lighting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nay, whatever you say.
Pardon? Was there one?
Nay.
2? All right, motion carries 7-2. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
The next item here has to do with Jim Urban again and Rebecca Zockline. This says flood mitigation assistance grants for 2020. Hey, you all can remove your mask if you don't mind. Just so you're seen.
We're actually, and Becky's got up here our history with these projects through FEMA, which is to mitigate flood hazard in the floodplain in Oldham County. We've been doing this since 2014. The grant application round for 2020 has opened, and we had a meeting with potential applicants for that 2 Thursdays ago. And so we're actually asking fiscal court to pass a resolution.
And authorize the judge to sign any documents needed for this,
For this grant.
yes.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Second? All right, moved and seconded that I be authorized to apply for the flood mitigation assistance grants for property owners who are insured by the National Flood Insurance Program, who have experienced an eligible loss due to flooding, and who want to take advantage of this opportunity to reduce future risk to their property. So, is there any discussion on this? Magistrate Hounds.
Jim and Beck, we don't know what the dollar value is. We apply for the grant and then the dollar value comes later?
We don't know yet.
we will know the dollar value of what we apply for after we have all the information from the homeowners. And we're in the grant application period right now, so that dollar amount, we have a rough idea, but no, we don't know.
It could be about $2 million if everybody applies. It's voluntary, so the people that we had come to the meeting, and there were 9 properties represented, I think we had
Seven.
Seven. I think we had 9 properties that were there, but, so anyway, if they choose to get their information into us, they have to go get estimates and everything, and their deadline is the end of this month.
Okay, thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Is the difference, I don't remember last year needing a resolution. We just authorized the judge to sign to apply for grants. Is this now allowing the judge to have control over who gets part of the grant money? Is that the reason for the resolution, or am I wrong? Did we do resolutions?
Every year, we've asked the court for a resolution and an authorization for the judge to sign the application.
It's part of the requirements of applying.
Grant application.
Right. But haven't we just historically allowed the judge to sign to apply for a grant?
That's what this is.
Right, but this is in
Always
the
been
form
done
of a
by
revolution.
It's always been done by resolution.
It's always done by
Resolution.
resolution.
Yes.
It's always done by resolution. Okay. Thank you.
Magistrate Dye.
I might be premature in this question, but I'll go ahead and ask it. Assuming we get the grant, outside of the administrative cost, what's the additional cost to the county on this? Is there any?
It's not really cost. We do have to provide some capital because each project submits they have to pay their bills, and then they submit them to us. We process them, you all approve them, and then we submit to FEMA to get reimbursed. So we do have to put out some capital, but there's not really any direct cost to us.
Outside of y'all's administrative time?
Those are reimbursed also.
Are they? Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions in regard to this grant application? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Now we're on to the petition to establish Quality Place as a county road. Jim Sullivan is back to review the progress that's been made on this petition.
Can I actually request that we do H first? It might make more sense to.
Did I skip one, or no? Okay.
No, you
All right,
didn't,
no.
but they're.
Sure,
I think order-wise, if we do the
I
contract
think it'd be
amendment
all right. Let's
for
do
Quality
that.
Place.
Go ahead with H.
Thank you. At the October 6th, the previous fiscal court meeting, fiscal court approved the roadway dedication agreement and the temporary encroachment agreement with Treehouse or Carriage House for this Quality Place improvement project. And subsequent to that, Tate Combs with the county attorney's office has drafted an amendment for that agreement or those agreements to do 2 things. One, it establishes a date that they're obligated to pay their cost share for by, and it also establishes in that amendment that Treehouse is paying YMCA's cost share, and that's based on an agreement between those 2 parties. What I'm asking for is the fiscal court approve the judge to sign this amendment. And I'm not sure if you received it yet, but yesterday morning I did receive the signed copy from Treehouse. So once the judge signs it, that'll be executed.
We have it.
You do? Okay, great, thank you. Thank you, Denise.
I'll make that motion that we allow the judge to sign the contract addendum between Treehouse and Oldham County Fiscal Court.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now you can go back to G.
Great, thank you. So with the petition to establish county maintenance of Quality Place, I'm assuming you also received the updated petition form, which indicates that we've received the agreement to pay by December 1st from Treehouse. So now, considering That agreement for the payment by Treehouse for Treehouse and YMCA, all the other payments of the adjoining properties along Quality Place have been received, given to the county treasurer. And then Oldham County, the last property, is our road department, and of course, we'll participate. So considering this, I'm requesting fiscal court approve this petition to take Quality Place into the road system.
Judge, I'll make the motion that we approve the petition to establish county maintenance of Quality Place.
All right, moved and seconded. Of course, we know Quality Place is the entrance to the YMCA at the far end, and our county road department is along that street, and we've got new apartment building built there, and we're expecting a grocery store to be built in front of the apartment buildings. So, Measure Hawkins.
Did this come through road committee
It's been discussed at road committee, yes.
and approved through road committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
all petitions are a process, I've come to learn, and so there's been some really good work here done by the engineering department and by the county treasurer to make this happen, so I just want to give them some accolades here.
Thank you, I appreciate that. They have worked hard to pull this all together. There's a lot of moving parts involved here. Measure Harrison.
Thank you, Judge. In light of that, I would just like to get some confirmation from Melissa Horn that we've dotted the i's and crossed the t's on this, because I know there's been some mix-up on it before. Not mix-up, confusion.
Yes, I have received the payments as indicated on the attachment that you have. I don't have a copy of the contract yet, but I'm sure that I will. But you're bringing it in before it's been paved.
So the plan, the
Right?
plan is to,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I've been coordinating with Louisville Paving, who's a low bidder on that contract, and once I go out and mark the patching